You can't get rid
Partly.
of it that easily. How you doing?
Oh, good. How you doing?
Yeah, good, good.
Where are you right now?
Sort of southwest of London, about 30 miles outside of London.
Yeah, pretty
So
much the
I'm,
exact same place. We're in Arkansas. Those two are very, very similar.
yes, absolutely.
Have you ever been to Arkansas?
Do you know? I'm not sure that I have actually. I realised that with the zombies, uh, we never played much down the middle of the country. We went round the edges, you know. So we did the coasts, and then we went across the south, but we didn't do a lot down the middle. Arkansas is down the middle, isn't it? I
It
think.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a
So like
geography
Arkansas.
snob.
Pardon?
You're a geography snob.
Hardly, but I thought Arkansas was down the middle. So places like Oklahoma, Arkansas, and whatever else is down the middle. We didn't play very much, I'm afraid.
So,
Not,
what do
yeah,
you?
not because we didn't want to, but we were never, we were never invited, I'm afraid.
I mean, you guys were huge, and then you became a insurance salesman.
No, not really. What happened was the band finished. And like a lot of bands in the 60s, we didn't really make any money, except for the writers. And this is another issue that happens in bands. The writers have a completely different income stream. And it happened that the writers in our band, Rod Argent and Chris White, had actually done quite well because of their writing, but the band had never made any money. And so when the band, one of the reasons the band finished was because the other three, Hugh Grundy, Paul Atkinson, and myself, were literally broke. And at this meeting where we were discussing probably ending the band, I think anyway, but Paul Atkinson added that he'd just got married and he had absolutely no money, and he'd been offered a job. It's actually in a very early computing firm.
Wow.
It's very, very unusual then, 1967, but Paul Atkinson was very, very bright. And he said, I have to take this job. I've just got married and got to get some money. And in the end, it came to me as well. I'm going around the houses here a bit, but I had to get a job. And I took the first job I was offered. I wasn't offered anything in music. If I had been offered something in music, I would have done it. And I got offered this crazy job in an insurance office, but I couldn't sell insurance. I didn't know anything about it. I literally nothing. And I spent the first day in this office in the middle of London, very, very busy. How the hell I got this job or why they gave it to me, I don't know. And eventually I had to answer the phone. It's sheer panic. I had to answer the phone. My whole life experience was in music. And somebody phoned me. I don't know what the question was. What can I do about my insurance? No, I would have never sold it because you really you have to know what you're talking about to do that. I was like a clerk, And the joke was that when I'd been working there a few months, I was being paid so little. I started adding up what I was being paid and what it cost me to get there and a little bit of rent and so forth. And I was actually working at a loss. I
Oh
wasn't
my
making
goodness.
anything. So it's a bit like being in the Zombies, really, and I just didn't sing so much.
Yeah, but you got the girls and the zombies. The insurance
That's
don't. You don't
true.
get.
Actually, that was a plus. Yeah, that was a plus. You don't get so many girls in insurance, I've got to tell you. So if girls are what you're looking for in life, don't go into insurance. Join a band.
No.
But after about a year, Time of the Season was a big hit in America. There was a delay after we recorded it. And then the phone started ringing for me to record again.
Nice.
And slowly but surely, I got back into the music business. To start with, I wasn't, after the disappointment of the Zombies, I mean, it just devastated me when the Zombies finished. I wasn't absolutely sure I wanted to get back into the business. But I met a producer who said, well, I'll do some tracks and it's a bizarre situation. And you come when you finished your day in the insurance office, come over to Olympic Studios. The Stones were recording there. Come over to Olympic Studios and we'll just put your vocal on some tracks. And one of those tracks was a small top 30 hit in the UK. And so I I was back in the music business sort of automatically because there was a hit record. And that led to talking to Rod Argent and Chris White again about recording together again. And eventually we ended up back in Abbey Road in Studio 3, where we recorded Time of the Season.
Nice.
With the same engineer, Peter Vince, Rod and Chris producing. And it was almost like having the old team back together again. Obviously, the rest of the Zombies weren't there. But it was a great way to start a solo career because I was working with Rod and Chris producing, who I'd known all my life, and with an engineer that I'd worked with before. And Abbey Road's a magical place to record. So I recorded my first album then 1 year. And from that album, there was a big hit here, but I know it wasn't a hit in the States. Always intrigues me how you can have a hit with a song in one country and it means nothing in the next.
What I was wondering, why do you think it was so well received over here versus overseas?
In the States, the Zombies, I think, were better received in the States than in the UK. But for my solo things, it was better received in the UK than in the States. But who knows why? I mean, it's one of the mysteries of the music business.
Now, you was with when you had all those, doing touring with the Zombies and everything. When was the first time you could actually look in the mirror and say, "Hey, I'm a damn rock star"?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I would only use a term like that as a bit of fun. I don't really think all I've ever wanted to be is a working musician. And just try and hone my craft, really. That's all I've ever tried to do. And the other side of it, it's interesting, but it's not a main motivation for me. The sort of the glamour side of it, I don't mind if there's a bit of glamour, but really I like to be at home writing tunes, get to the studio, make the best records I can, and then get up and with a really fine band, play the best I can in concerts. And that's how I see my job or my career.
Do you remember where you were the first time you heard one of your songs on the radio?
I don't really. I know it was always a big thrill. Because remember, we recorded She's Not There. I was 18 when we recorded it.
Wow.
I do remember one thing. She's Not There was on the television over here. Remember, we only had then, I think we had two stations, the government station and a commercial station. Now we've got the same as you, we've got a million stations. But so everyone would watch this program called Jukebox Jury on a Saturday afternoon. I think it was on at about 6 o'clock. And there would be a panel of 4 people who would listen to a tune and vote whether it was going to be a hit or not. And this week, George Harrison was on the panel. This is 1964. Everyone in the country was watching because George Harrison was on the panel, and they played She's Not There. I was absolutely knocked out, and he loved it. He said he really liked it and said he thought it would be a hit. And him saying that almost guaranteed it being a hit anyway. That's awesome. That's what I remember when I think about the first time I heard a song, I heard my voice on TV. I can't remember the radio, but I remember that. My word, I remember that.
Now, did you get to be on, like when you did concerts and stuff, probably what was the biggest concert you ever had as far as people being there?
In those days, I don't remember there being outdoor festivals. Well, of course, Woodstock happened just after the band finished. So the biggest concert that we played was in the Araneta Coliseum. It's Manila, but it's actually in an area of Manila called Quezon City. So it's Manila in the Philippines, and we played to 32,000 people. But we did a 10-day residency, and the first night was 28,000.
Oh, wow.
And there was a matinee of 15,000, and Saturday night we played to 32,000. And it kept on pretty much like that for 10 nights. So they were the biggest audiences that we played to, I think.
See, I lived in the Philippines.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I did. You're just showing off.
I didn't go to that concert, but I lived there.
Well, I mean, you don't look old enough to have been to that concert. It was a long time ago.
So, like right now, what's the primary focus? Are you writing songs? Are you touring a little bit? Or what's happening right now with you / the Zombies?
Well, the Zombies are not going to tour anymore because, unfortunately, sadly, Rod had a stroke about 18 months ago.
Oh,
He's fine. He's writing. He wants to record, but he's not going to tour anymore. So the Zombies will not tour anymore. I have a solo band. I literally was in Miami last week, and I got on one of the music-themed cruises out of Miami, these huge ships. And the Beach Boys did the same cruise, and it was great fun. So I got back last week from that, and I'm actually recording a solo album. I'm in the studio tomorrow. So that's probably where my main focus is. But also this year, the Zombies are going to release 4 albums. They've already re-released a remastered Odyssey and Oracle album.
oh, wow.
Now they're just re-releasing our first album, Begin Here, which has been remastered in the original mono. That's just been released now, and there are 2 more albums being released later in the year. So there's a lot happening in the Zombies' career, but it won't include live performances.
Well, we've heard rumors. I mean, this is what we're excited about. The rumor on the streets now are that y'all are going to do a new album, but it's going to be gangster rap. Is that?
Well, that's an interesting thought. Yeah, I'll certainly have a long think about that and talk to my producer. Yeah, I think he'd be up for that.
That's it. You know, we just got to get your rap name and you get you some bling. You're good to go.
I've got a bit of bling around my neck. It's got to be gold, hasn't it? It can't be silver.
Now, let's say when you're not riding or going on cruises and stuff, what does Colin do just to relax?
Well, I've got to be honest, because I'm away from home a lot. I like to just be at home. I'd love to tell I've always thought I used to paint a lot. I want to get back into painting. I've had 3 or 4 people chase me to do a biography. All these things I should be doing. But I love to be at home and just be quiet. I've got a guitar over there, and I like to sit and play a few tunes and just be quiet. We're not into big socializing or anything like that. It's just nice to be at home with my family. So that's basically what I do. I live quite a quiet life when I'm not touring.
Now, the rest of the family, are they musicians? Are they in the music industry as well? Or?
No. My mother had 5 brothers, and they were all musicians.
Oh, wow.
And I think that might be where I got my first interest in music, because they were playing, when I was a child. But my wife used to be on Concorde with British Airways. She's retired now. And my daughter's a doctor, and she's a fully qualified doctor, but she's now becoming a psychiatrist. She is a psychiatrist. And I do worry, that she can see into my brain.
You're going to be her best.
She's told me she's detected a few strange traits in me already. So yeah, we've got 1 daughter, and we also have a granddaughter as well, who's 2 years old, who's gorgeous. And of course, our family revolves around this little nucleus that we have here.
So are they all there with you, or some of them in the States? Or
No, all my family are close, but I'd say half an hour away.
Oh, okay,
Like
fantastic.
half an hour. So they're close, and that's important to us.
Now, let me ask you this. What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a Volvo XC60. It's for English roads. It's quite big. They do a bigger one, the XC90, but I mean that is a big car. Yeah, I've had 3 Volvos. I really like them. They're very reliable, and if you read up on them, they're supposed to be very safe. I've never been in an accident with one. Yeah, it's lovely. XC60.
Since we went deep into your thoughts and since we know what kind of car you have, what's your favorite food?
A traditional English food, I would probably say, but my wife's in the next room. Anything that my wife cooks is my favorite food. I know what the right answers here, but
Absolutely. That's how you made it to the age you are right now. Yeah.
Yes. We have a traditional Sunday lunch here, so it'll either be roast beef or or probably chicken, although we had turkey last week. And I really look forward to that. All the vegetables you can imagine, and a roast dish. That's got to be one of my favorites, definitely.
Do you have any more cruises planned? Any more reunion cruises or anything?
There's talk of one early next year,
Okay.
a different one, not the one that we've just been on, and we'll have the negotiations are going on, so we'll have to see how that works out. But it's very interesting doing these cruises because you're traveling with your audience. So it means that you walk out of your cabin in the morning, and your audience, they're there. Every 5 paces, someone will like to talk to you. And so to get to breakfast can take you about 2.5 hours to get to breakfast. And then when you have breakfast, it can take quite a long time because they're curious, and they want to know about how was this done and what was it like doing this. And it's great to meet them and have a chat, but it's a unique experience being on a cruise ship. These ships are huge, and as I say, you're traveling with your audience.
So if you do a bad show, you can't get away from them either.
No. So thank heaven so far, because there's one cruise that I did with the Zombies every year since 2013, except for COVID. And since we stopped touring with the Zombies, I've done it with my solo band. So I've done quite a few. It's called On the Blue, and it's based around the Moody Blues, who they did it in the early years, but of course they don't play anymore. But it's still called On the Blue, and that Justin Hayward, great artist, is kind of heads the bill on the Blue. And so I've done loads of those cruises, and I've had that thought, if we do a bad show, I've got to meet this whole audience at breakfast, and they'll tell me if it's bad. But luckily, fingers crossed, we haven't done a bad show yet. So we get the opposite. We're having breakfast and people are saying, great show, really enjoyed it last night. It's a great way to start your day.
Absolutely. Well, going back to the Zombies, I mean, you were coming up, British Invasion, the Beatles had their look. Did y'all ever try and find a look for y'all's band or anything of that nature?
I think in our own way we probably did try, but I always think it was a weakness with the Zombies that we didn't really have an image. I think that when you think about the two big bands, the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, they had active managers, Epstein with the Beatles and Andrew Loog Oldham with the Stones in the early years anyway. And I think they were very conscious of image. And then there are other bands like The Who who were very conscious of image. Personally, I think a lot of that came from Pete Townsend. But with us, I don't think we probably didn't realize how important it was, and maybe couldn't find a way forward with image. And I think it always it was always a weakness for us.
You got a cool name, though. Zombies are a very cool name. So,
well, I think it's cooler now than it was. I was the only one in the band that didn't really like that name. It kind of came out of the blue. One of the guys just said, "What about the Zombies?" And everyone went, "Yeah." And I'm thinking, what is a zombie? What? But it was a short, catchy name, and it stuck. And as I say, the other guys loved it. And, I've got used to it now. I had plenty of time to get used to it. I had 60 years to get used to it.
Oh, my God.
What was it like when you got inducted in the Hall of Fame?
Fabulous. One of the most wonderful evenings ever, I think. My wife was with me, which made it even more special. It was in a big, actually it's a basketball arena in Brooklyn. I can't remember what it's called now, but there were 17,000 people in the audience, and just wonderful artists performing. Stevie Nicks, Janet Jackson, Roxy Music, Radiohead, Def Leppard. Excuse me if I've forgotten anyone, but these wonderful artists performing, and of course you're presented with your statuette and everything. It was great, absolutely wonderful. And it made you feel that what you'd produced over the years had some value and was recognized by your peers. It's a wonderful experience, quite emotional.
So if we talk to your wife right now, would she
Yes.
say that after you were inducted, did you just become a total asshole?
She wouldn't allow me to be.
Okay.
No way.
Said
No,
you're
there's
not taking
no
out the
way.
trash anymore. You're not
Oh
washing
no,
dishes.
I take out the trash every Monday night. I can assure you, because they collect early Sunday morning. It's no good taking it out. Sorry, Tuesday morning. No good taking it out in the morning. They've already gone. So it goes out Monday night. I definitely do that, and I also have my daughter who's a doctor is very strong as well, and I would say there are no rock gods in this house.
That's awesome. Well, if someone wants to hear these new albums, someone wants to keep track of what you're doing right now, what's the best way for them to be up to date with all of your information?
Well, I would say honestly, if you go to thezombies.net or if you go to colinblunstone.net,
Cool.
you'll get all the information you need. Or there's another one, the Zombies Music. If you go to that, all the information is up there, and there's lots happening. There really is lots happening, and I hope people can find the information, and I really hope that they enjoy what we're doing.
And if I could, because your music is still well played in the Philippines. And my wife's Filipino. Could you give a shout out to Diego?
To Diego?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Hi, Diego. Hope you're enjoying the Zombies music. I love the Philippines. I hope we do get back there and we can play over there. And maybe when I come to the States, I get the chance to meet you. I do hope so.
Yeah, because if you come to Arkansas, we'll get you some of the best, barbecue that you've eaten.
That would be absolutely wonderful. So you have to tell the people of Arkansas they've either got to, no, we can't have the Zombies anymore, but you can have the Colin Blunstone solo band. We are at your disposal, and we are awaiting an invitation. That's the thing. We'd love to come.
But now, when we take you out, remember, you're paying for it.
Oh. Okay, maybe we'll skip the middle of the country then. We'll stay on the edges.
Fantastic, man. We want to thank you for taking the time just to say hi. Love your music. So just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully we will see you here in the central part of the U.S.
I do hope so. I'd love to come and visit, even if I've got to pay. And so hopefully see you both soon, and all the very best.
Okay, you take care, Colin.
Thanks, Colin.
Cheers. Bye.
You'll take that trash out.
I will, believe me.
Yeah. Be safe, my friend.